Come on in, come on in, come on in. Yes. Come on in. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Come on in, come on in, come on in. What's up, Jennifer? What's up, sister? What's up, Terrence? Yeah. What's up, baby? Yeah. We get ready to go in. We get ready to go in. Hey, we're talking about breaking the mediocre mentality. We're talking about doing something great in your life. How you doing, Aunt Dale? Thank you for joining us. We're talking about breaking the mediocre mentality tonight. We're talking about it. It's going to be amazing. Hey, before we begin, text somebody, message somebody, Facebook them, let them know that we are on live right now and it's getting ready to go down right here on Facebook Live. Share this message right now with someone. Love you too. Share this message. Share this message. We're talking about something amazing tonight. Text them, DM them, do what you got to do to make sure they're on tonight. Hey, we're going in, breaking the mediocre mentality. Text somebody, email somebody, Facebook them, let them know that we are on live right now. And it's going to be the greatest 30 minutes of your life right now. Don't forget, text them, let them go right now. We're talking about breaking the mediocre mentality tonight. Breaking the mediocre mentality. That's what we're talking about. Society tries to keep us in a box, to live a mediocrity life. Society keeps us in a place, but we're going to talk about how to break out of that thing tonight. Yes. Give me a few more minutes and we're going to start. We're going to start. No mediocrity. That's right, sis. That's right. That's right. We breaking out tonight. We breaking out. We wasn't designed to live that way. We was not designed to live that way. All right, I hope you got your pencils and your papers. Make sure you got something to write with because we're going, hey, I always remember this. I'm going to give you principles. I'm going to give you keys. I'm going to give you what you need. Share this with somebody. Let's get started. Let's get started. Let's get started. Let's get started. All right. We're talking about breaking the mediocre mentality tonight. Breaking the mediocre mentality tonight. That's what we're talking about. What is mediocre? What does it mean to be mediocre? It means to be average, of moderate quality, not very good. You see that? Mediocre. That's what we're talking about. Breaking the mediocre mentality. What does it mean to be mediocre? It means to be average, of moderate quality, not very good. That's what mediocre means. You see, I was listening to one of my a great motivational speaker today. His name by the name of Les Brown. He said something that really impacted me. This is what he said. He said that many of us have made a settlement on our lives. Think about that. Many of us have made a settlement on our lives. Now, what does it mean to make a settlement? A settlement is a legal term. In our actuality, to make a settlement means it's an official agreement intended to resolve a dispute or conflict. In other words, if you've been offended or if you've been transgressed over, what you would do, you will go to the court of law. And in order for you to go ahead and dispute it or go ahead and cancel it out, what you would do, you will make a settlement. But most of the time, many people make settlements because they don't really believe that they can really get what they're supposed to have. The man said that many of us have made a settlement in our life. And that's funny because sometimes I think about the things that we've gone through in life. We've gone through trials. We've gone through tribulation. We've had setbacks. We've been beat up in life. We've been walked over. We've been talked about. And sometimes what we do because of what we've gone through, we will make a settlement with our own life because we don't feel that we're supposed to have the best. So in return, we'll settle for a mediocrity. We'll settle for the average thing. We'll settle for average relationships. We'll settle for average careers. We'll settle for average friendships. We'll settle for average lifestyle because we made a settlement with our life because we don't really believe that we're supposed to have what we really supposed to have. But somebody needs to go back and renegotiate the contract and tell somebody to give you what's rightfully yours. I don't know about nobody else. I can't make a settlement in my life. I can't make a settlement because guess what? I have to have the best. I have to have the best life. I have to have the best family. I have to have the best marriage because I know that regardless of what I've gone through and what I've went through, that does not define me. And in return, I have to have the best. Your setback doesn't define you. What you've been through doesn't define you. The things that you've gone through don't define you. And on the basis of that, you can't let someone tell you what you're supposed to have. You're supposed to have the best. You're supposed to have the best. You're supposed to have the best career. You're supposed to have the best lifestyle. You're supposed to have the best relationship because that's rightfully owed for you. Regardless of what you've gone through, you can't make a decision on what somebody or what someone said about you and what you've been through. Your past mistakes don't determine your worth. Your past failures don't determine your worth. None of that determines your worth. So many of us need to go back and renegotiate the contract and tell them, if I can't have the best, I don't want it. That's what I'm talking about. We're breaking out tonight. No more mediocrity. No more mediocrity. You see that? We can't live a life of mediocrity anymore. You have to be dogmatic about this thing. You have to be determined about this thing. You have to have a made up mind that says no more mediocrity. I want the best. I can't settle for less. I want the best. No more mediocrity. We're not settling anymore. We're not settling with the lowest relationship. We're not settling on our job. We're not settling in our life. We're not settling in our relationship. We want the best. That's what we want. That's what we want. Y'all got me worked up in here. All right, now let's talk about this. You know, hey, when we're talking about not having something, I got to give you some principles and some keys. I got to give you principles and keys. I have to give you principles and keys. In order for us to break the mediocre mentality, in order for us to break this mentality, there are 4 C's that I want to give you tonight. There are 4 C's that I want to give you tonight. The first C is this. If you're going to break the mentality of mediocrity, the first C that we're going to talk about, the first C is you have to challenge the norm. Come on now. If you're going to break this mentality, you have to challenge the norm. What does it mean? Because it's normal to do what you want to do. See, in our actuality, right now, we want to do what feels good. We want to eat what tastes good. We want to live, but it's normal to do what we want to do in a life that we live. In this culture that we live in, it is normal to do what feels good. But if you're going to break the mentality of mediocrity, you are going to have to challenge what the norm is. What's the norm? It's normal to live an average life. It's normal to have a mind frame that says, I'm okay over here. It's normal just to take what someone gives you. It's normal to live like that. But we're not living like that. If you're going to break this mentality, the first thing that you have to do, you have to challenge what comes normal. It's normal to live in a community and not get involved. Think about that. I just live in my community and not get involved. It's normal to live a lifestyle and not make any noise. That's normal. But if you're going to break that mentality and do something great and leave a mark in your life, you have to challenge what comes normal. It's normal to let your life get out of with no order. It's normal to live a lifestyle that has no order. It's normal to live in a community and not get involved in. It's normal to have friendships and not have any boundaries with it. It's normal to have a group of individuals that you hang out with and not set any boundaries with. It's normal to do that. But if you're going to live the best and have the best and break that mediocrity, and break a mentality and not live average, you have to challenge what comes normal. Society will tell you right now, it's normal for you to get up, work a job, pay bills, and die. That's what society will tell you. That's normal. It's normal when you get a certain age, you've worked all your years of your life. It's normal then to retire. That's normal. But if you're going to break that mentality of mediocrity, guess what? You have to challenge what comes normal. You have to challenge what comes normal. If you're going to break that mentality. Number 2, if you're going to break that mentality of mediocrity, number 2, this is what you got to do. You got to cancel out negative thoughts. You have to cancel out negative thoughts. If you're going to break that mentality, your thoughts, let me tell you, your thoughts are key. You have to make sure that you get a grip on what you've been thinking about. If you're going to break that mentality of living an average lifestyle, the first thing that you have to check is your mind. I thank God that one day God started talking to my mind because I realized this, wherever the mind goes, the body follows. If I can get my mind right, then sooner or later I can get my family right. And if I can get my family right, then it won't be long till I get my community right. But the first thing, it starts with me getting my mind right. If you don't have a right mind, then guess what? You don't have a right lifestyle. If you don't have a right mind, you don't have a right lifestyle. You see that? You got to have a right mind. Because whoever got your mind has your life. Whoever has your mind has your vision. And most of us right now, we can't even do what we're supposed to do because our mind's not in it. So we just take whatever life gives us. We got to get our mind right. If we're going to break an average lifestyle, not live a life of mediocrity, we have to get our mind right. Because wherever our mind goes, guess what? Our body will follow. Where's your mind at tonight? Where's your mind at? What you thinking about? That's where it should be. That's what I'm talking about. God, family. That's right, God. Where's your mind at? God wants your mind. You see that? God wants your mind, because when God gets a hold of your mind, now I ain't talking about, see, the problem is most of our community has our mind, or most of our family has our mind, or our culture may have our mind, and in return, we're not seeing the results that we really want to see, but God wants to get that mind. Because if God grab a hold of that mind, then guess what? Then we can start redirecting our lifestyle the way it's supposed to be. Where's your mind at? If you're going to break that lifestyle of not living an average lifestyle tonight, you have to take hold of that mind. Let me tell you this. You have to cancel out those negative thoughts. What am I talking about? What are those negative thoughts? Guess what? When you moving from mediocrity, the one thing that you have to do is you got to get rid of those negative thoughts. You have to. Negative thoughts like, man, what kind of impact can I really make in my community? Come on. If you're thinking like that, then guess what? You're missing it. If you're thinking like that, then you're missing it. If you're thinking, what kind of impact can you make in your community? God never placed you in a place just to occupy space and breathe air. You're not in that place just to do that. You've been created for something greater than just to occupy a place and breathe air. He never put you in that place. So if you got a mindset that says that you can never make an impact right where you are, then guess what? Your mind is in the wrong place. Your mind's in the wrong place. If you have a mindset that says, I can't really, no one wants to listen to me, then guess what? Your mind is in the wrong place. In fact, I believe with all my heart that God has really tuned certain people and certain individuals to listen to you personally. There are people that you can talk to that I can't even talk to. There are people that you can reach that I can't even reach. There are places you can go that I can't even go to. But if you got the concept and the mindset that says that, guess what? No one wants to hear me. No one is paying attention to what I do. I can't make an impact. Then guess what? You got to cancel those negative thoughts, because your thoughts will keep you right where you are, and that's stuck. And we got to deal with that. If we're going to break this mentality, we have to deal with the mind. The first thing, and talking about breaking the mediocrity, breaking the mediocre mentality, the first thing that you got to do, you got to challenge the norm. You got to challenge the norm. You got to break out of the norm. Let me tell you that we live in a society that places us in a box. They put us in a box. They tell us which way to go. They tell us how far we can go, what group we belong to, what class we belong to. If you're going to live a lifestyle that leaves an impact on this earth, you have to break out of that box. I'm telling you. And the first thing to do, you got to challenge what comes normal. The second thing that you have to do, you have to cancel out negative thoughts. 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 The third thing you have to do, if you're going to break this mentality, the third thing that you have to cut all ties with all unproductive people, places, and things. If you're going to break out of the box, you have to cut all ties with all unproductive people, places, and things. Let me say that again. If you're going to break this mentality, you have to cut ties with all unproductive people, places, and things. What am I saying? Let me tell you this. Some people are all right where they are. Some people don't want any more than what they have. Some people are content with the way life has given them, with the hand that they've been dealt. Some people are okay, but I'm talking to the people that have this unction on the inside, that has a feeling on the inside, that has something going on with them that tells you that there's more in life. If you're going to break this mentality of just having just enough to get by, or having a mediocre mentality, then you will have to break and cut all ties with all unproductive people, places, and things. You have to. You have to. You have to. Because let me tell you this. Some places where God is taking you, everybody can't go. There are some places that God is taking you that people are not ready for. There are some levels that God is trying to take you to that people are not ready for. See, there's a difference between penthouse and ground level. And that's where God is taking us to. He's trying to take us to the high places. But guess what? Sometimes we stop God from doing what he wants to do because we're still trying to bring people with us that's not ready to go. You have to cut all ties with unproductive, notice what I said, unproductive people, places, and things. I'm talking about places, people, and things that are not productive. I'm not, look, I talk about this every week. I'm not saying go around talking about you're better than someone. I'm not talking, but I'm talking about when you have a mindset that says I have to have all that belongs to me. I'm not settling in life anymore. I'm not making a settlement with my life. I want what rightfully belongs to me. Then sometimes you're going to have to cut the ties of people, places, and things. Because you can't go everywhere. You can't get involved with everybody. You can't let everybody speak into your life. You can't go around everybody. You can't let everybody give you wisdom and advice. You can't do that because your life is at stake. Your life is at stake. So if you're going to break this mentality, you would have to cut the ties of all unproductive people, places, and things. In other words, you're going to have to redirect your path. Go to the places that build you up and don't tear you down. Connect with the people that celebrate you and don't just tolerate you. Get involved with the activities that they're going to invest in your life so that in return when you invest, then guess what? You have a productive return. We're talking about breaking the mentality of mediocrity. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about not just living a lifestyle that just says I'm all right where I'm at. We're talking about living a life that's far beyond average because average won't cut it. And if you expect to do something great in your ministry, in your business, in your family, then you're going to have to break out of the mentality that just says, I'm all right where I am. Because everything that God has designed has been designed to move forward. And if you're not moving forward, then you're going backwards. That's where we at. We got to break that mentality. See, many of us are still holding on to that mentality that we were brought up in, that community that we were brought up in, the people that we connected ourselves with. Many of us were still holding on to that same mentality, but there's so much more in life than that. There's so much more in life than that. There's so much more in life that says, man, I'm just content. I'm all right where I'm at. I'm good. I've arrived. This is where I'm at. I don't want to go any step further. There's so much more in life than that. And if you're going to break that mentality, the first thing that you're going to have to do, you're going to have to challenge what is normal. And a lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people don't want to do that. It's normal to live your life without any rules. But guess what? If you're gonna break that mentality, you're gonna have to challenge that. You'll have to set some rules, some boundaries in your life. You're gonna have to have some goals. You're gonna have to have some vision. You're gonna have to have some sense of direction of where you're going if you're gonna break that mentality. Because there are so many people in life today that don't know where they're going. But not us. We know exactly what we want, where we're going, and how we're going to get there because we're go-getters. Number two, if you're going to break that mentality, you're going to have to cancel out all negative thoughts. Let me tell you that when you start living a life that says that I'm going to pursue after everything that God has for me, then negativity is going to bombard your mind. There are going to be all kind of thoughts that trying to bombard your mind. Why? Because guess what? Because your flesh, your body, and your mind likes to do and stay what's comfortable to them. That's why you got to break out. You have to break out. You have to break out. You got to shake that thing out. You got to break out. You got to break out. You can't be comfortable. There's so much more life. You can't be. You have to cancel out those negative thoughts. You have to know where you're going. You have to know what direction that you'll take. You have to know exactly. You have to be precise about your life. And when you start making that decision to move forward and grab a hold, the life that you've been destined to grab a hold of, then guess what? Negative thoughts will bombard your mind. And the best way to cancel out negative thoughts, there's 3 ways to cancel out negative thoughts. Number one, you got to, guess what? Number one, you have to cancel those negative. Number one, you have to utilize your confession. The very thing that is trying to stop you from moving where you're going to, you got to speak to that thing. You have to speak to it. And number 2, you got to start going into the direction that your thoughts are trying to get you not to go into. And number 3, you have to be persistent. You have to be persistent. Number 1, you got to utilize your confession. You see that? Number 2, you got to start. And number 3, you got to be persistent. Let's talk about this 4th C. Let's talk about the 4th C. The fourth C is this. The fourth C is this. When you talk about dealing with the mentality, is what I love to talk about. I love talking about this. When you're breaking the mentality of mediocrity, the fourth thing you have to do is this. You have to cultivate your gift. You have to cultivate your gift. A man's gift will make room for him. We live in an environment that focuses more on a person's job instead of their work. What are you saying? Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you've been created to do. You see that? We put more emphasis on our job instead of our work. We go to a job on a day-to-day basis, but we neglect our work. We go and work 40, 50, 60 hours a day on a job, but guess what? We don't even cultivate our work. Our work is what brings us fulfillment. Our work is what our gift does. Our work is what allows us to get into the presence of people. That's what our work does. Our job is what they pay us to do. Our work is what God created us to do. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. Many of us hate going to our job, but we don't even know what it feels like to do our work. Many of us hate traveling to a job, and we work hours and countless hours on a job, but we don't even know what it's like to really indulge and work hours and hours in the work that we've been created to do. There's a huge difference between your job and your work. There's a big difference. See, guess what? They can fire you from a job, but they can never fire you from your work. Come on now. You can go in tomorrow and they'll lay you off on a job, but if you in your work, you can never be fired. You can go in tomorrow and they say, we shutting down. And people will be in a frantic. People will be running everywhere, nervous, have nervous breakdowns. People will do all kind of things. But guess what? But when you understand your work, you can never be fired. How can you fire a bird from flying? A fish from swimming? That's their work. That's what they've been created to do. You see that? So my job is what they pay me to do, but wherever I'm at in the whole United States or wherever I'm at, I take my work with me. So wherever I'm at, I can work. See, we got to realize this. It's not normal to live in a society that we live in. It's not normal for you to work. I'm not talking about your job. I'm talking about work. I'm talking about cultivating your gift. I'm talking about leaving a legacy in the lives of people. I'm talking about impacting someone's life. I'm talking about doing what you've been created and what you've been called to do. And guess what? Without someone else's permission. And that's a big thing. That's a big thing. Without someone else's permission. Because guess what? I don't need someone else's permission to do my work. Because this is what I've been created to do. See, many of us are waiting for someone to validate us before we do our work. So in return, we're waiting. And we wait 1 year, and then we wait the next year, and then we wait the next year. In return, until we get some type of validation from some big name or some person or some preacher or some teacher or something like that before we even begin to do our work. But guess what? When you understand your work, you don't have to wait to Sunday to preach a sermon, or you don't have to wait to Wednesday to preach a Bible study. Your work will take you to a street corner. Your work will take you in the marketplace. Your work will take you to drug school. Your work will take you wherever you have to go because that's your mission. I'm talking to somebody tonight. I'm talking about living a life of mediocrity. I'm talking about working, not a job. See, let me tell you this. I have intentions to leave a legacy. This week, my family and I had an opportunity to go visit Dr. Martin Luther King's memorial in Atlanta, Georgia. Let me tell you that I'm still in awe of the stuff that I've seen from this man. He's been dead, what, 40, 50 years now? Or maybe even longer. But people still come from all over the world because he worked and because he paid attention to his work. He's long gone. He's dead. He's been dead for years. And people are still coming and visiting this memorial, this museum, his house, seeing the accolades and seeing the awards and all this stuff that he earned because he had a determination to work. He had a determination not to live an average lifestyle. He was determined to not live a lifestyle of mediocrity. He was determined. He was determined. And in return, because he was determined, guess what? He left a legacy. And that's what I'm trying to get you to tap into. I'm trying to get you to tap into when you gone, that you can leave something behind that other people can benefit from. Don't ever think that your life is not important. Don't ever think that you don't have something to give to this society. Don't ever think that no one doesn't care about what you have to say. Because I'll tell you this. Let me tell you, 10 years ago, while I was sitting in a jail cell, I had the same thought. Who would ever listen to me? And guess what? 10, 11, 12, 13 years later, here I am. People look at me now and they think about, man, look, man, you're doing a great job. You're doing this and doing that. But guess what? People don't see what you go through. You see that? So what we're talking about tonight, we're talking about breaking the mentality of mediocrity. You have to break it. You can't just be satisfied with your life because there's so much more. You can't be. And I gave you 4 C's tonight. And the first one is you have to challenge what comes normal. You have to challenge that. If you're going to break that mentality, you have to challenge what comes normal. You have to challenge that. Number 2, you have to cancel out negative thoughts. You got to cancel those thoughts out. You have to cancel them out. You got to get rid of them. Get rid of them. You have to get rid of them. Number 3, you have to cut ties with all unproductive people, places, and things. I mean, your life is at stake with this. It all matters. Everything matters. Away with the days of saying, I'm just doing what I'm doing. I'm just doing my time. I'm just going to do enough to get by. Away with those days. Away with those days. Away with those days. Because guess what? You can't afford just to do enough to get by. You want to know why? Because today you're going to look on television. You're going to see some youngster dying. Today you're going to look in the newspaper. And you're going to see some marriage splitting up. You're going to see some community being bombarded. You're going to see all these things. We don't have time to just do time. No. We don't have time. Somebody right now is praying for your purpose. There's something on the inside of you right now that some community, some organization, some ministry, some family needs right now. And if you have the mindset that says that you can't make an impact on them, then guess what? That comes to the third day. We got to get your mind right today. That's why we're dealing with this mentality. Because you matter. You matter. You matter. Don't you ever let no one tell you that you don't matter. You matter. Your past, hey, stop letting your past tell you that you don't matter. Stop letting your mistakes tell you that you don't matter. Stop letting some old busted up relationship tell you that you don't matter. Stop letting some clown tell you that you don't matter. You matter. I'm telling you, you matter. That's why we got to break this mentality, because I know that if I can get into your mind, then guess what? It won't be long before you come out. And then guess what? When you come out, it won't be long before your family comes out. And when your family comes out, it won't be long before your neighborhood starts coming out. And when your neighborhood starts coming out, it won't be long till we start changing some things. But I got to get in that mind first. You got to realize how important you are. You got to realize that your average won't cut it. You have to realize that you can't be satisfied with just getting the crumbs from the master table. You got to realize that you can't just be satisfied with just eating the leftovers. You got to realize that. Because you've been created for more than that. You got to realize that. I just take enough to get by. No. You haven't just been created to take enough just to get by. You haven't been created to take enough to get by. I'm just going to take what they give me. No, I can't take what they give me. No, I haven't been created just to take what somebody gives me. Guess what? I'm working for it. I'm pushing. I'm being motivated. I'm being inspired. And guess what? I'm coming to the table and I want what rightfully belongs to me. Do I got any more people that's listening to me today that want rightfully what belongs to you? Yes, sir. That's what we want. But you got to have that mindset. You can't have that mindset that says my past mistakes and my failures and the things that I've gone through and messed up relationships and the things that I've joined myself to has more weight than what really rightfully belongs to you. You see that? No. Because that's normal. That's why we got to change. That's normal. See, in a society, you see, here's what society will teach you. Society will beat you up, jump on you, kick you while you down, And when you get up, tell you to move to the back of the line and take what you get. But let me tell you this, if you don't learn how to start fighting back, you will miss out on everything that rightfully belongs to you. I heard one of my favorite preachers one time, by the name of, one time he said this, that there was some restaurant on the south side of Chicago, and this woman came up to the line, and she barged up to the line, and she went and got her barbecue, and she got her barbecue, and when the man came back and took a little bit of time, and when the barbecue was done, the guy handed her the paper bag, and she walked off and looked in the bag, and all of a sudden she came back and ran through the crowd and started busting through the crowd, and this is what she said. This is what she said. She told the man, "Hey, does bread come with that?" In other words, she was telling him, "Hey, I want what rightfully belongs to me." And some of us got to start saying that, "Hey, man, hey, don't a better marriage come with this? Don't a better friendship come with this? Don't a better career come with this? Don't a better lifestyle come with this?" And we got to start saying that because it does come with that. But you got to get in that mind. You got to get in that mind. It starts in your mind. You got to start thinking, yeah, man, God created me to have the best. God created me to want the best. You see what? We got the best God. So why would the greatest God that we have, why would someone like that create us just to have the lowest? Why? Think about that. That's a shame on him. Why would the almighty, omnipotent, powerful, omnipresent God create us just to have the small stuff and he's a big God? What does that say about him? See, we got to think about that. We got to think about that. If we have a problem with that, this is the God who owns, the Bible says he owns cattle, he owns everything. But we have a problem with that. So we got to challenge that mentality that says, I'm okay. I'll take a little bit. I'll take mine and go to my corner. We got to challenge that. And the way you challenge that, number one, you got to challenge what's normal. Number two, you got to cancel out negative thoughts. Number three, you have to cut ties with all unproductive. God created you to be productive. You've never been created to be unproductive. And you haven't been created to be busy. No, you've been created to be productive. Guess what? Busy. You don't want to be busy. You want to be productive. And number four, you have to cultivate your gift. You got to cultivate that gift. It's your gift that's going to change the world. It's your gift that's going to leave an impact on people. All of you all that's listening to me today, I want you to pay attention. Listen to me. Do you know your gift? Do you know what's really going to change the lives of people? It's not merely who you are. It's your gift. It's your gift. God created you to use your gift. You got a gift. You have something that other people need. You have something to provide your community. What you have to let this year be the year that you said, I'm going to use my gift. It may be a gift of cooking. I like that, man. I like that, Pastor. Okay, average. You're just as close to the bottom as you are to the top. That's what average is. And when you don't use your gift, then guess what? You're average. You're living a mediocre lifestyle when you don't use your gift. You've been created to use your gift. What is your gift? Use your gift. There's someone out there. It may be a gift of cooking, of serving other individuals. It may be a gift of organizing. It may be a gift of evangelism. It may be a gift of conducting businesses. It may be a gift of music. It may be a gift of helping other individuals bring out. But what is your gift? This has to be the year that you tune into your gift. And you can't sit down on your gift anymore. If you sit down on your gift from this day forward after you've heard me speak, then guess what? You're nothing more but a robber because you're robbing us of something precious. And we need it from you. We need it. We need your gift. We need your gift. We need your gift. Hey, this is Gerard Dunn. Thank you for tuning in to our episode of Solution. I enjoyed you tonight. Hey, it's been an awesome night. But today, this is a few things that I need you to do. Number one, make sure you turn on your notification. I'll be on every Monday. I'll be on every Monday at 7 p.m. Every Monday at 7 p.m. I'll be on. Turn on your notifications because I will be here at 7 p.m. And another thing, go to my YouTube page. I'm upgrading YouTube. I'm uploading YouTube videos every day. I'm uploading YouTube videos every day. Man, we got a mission and a desire to change the world. We have to. My goal is to help you bring the best out of you. That's what I've been designed to do. I am your booster cable. I'm your fire starter. I am the one that plugs up to you when you feel like you've gone down. I'm the one that they put the booster cables on to bring back life to you. That is me. I'm your fire starter, Gerard Dunn. That's what we do. That's what we do. Hey, if you haven't got a hold of my books, Adam, Where Are You?, Purpose, and Let Your Path Be Your Platform, they all can be purchased at Amazon. Go check those books out. Check those books out. All my books that I've created have been created to teach other individuals. Check those books out. Hey, man, we just beginning. We're just starting. Check my new book that's coming out very soon called Gerard Breaking Out of the Box. Breaking Out of the Box. That will be coming out here in 2017 on top of a whole bunch of other things that we're doing. We can't stop, y'all. We got too many people depending on us. We got so many things that we want to do. When we die, we don't want to die or be in our bed saying that we have so much other stuff to do. We want to be on our deathbed saying that I've done what I've been called to do. I've done what I've been called to do. God, I've poured myself out for so many people. Now, God, take me. I want to die empty. I want to die empty. And I hope that that's the way that you want to go, knowing that you served. Hey, man, I love you all. I thank you so much. Keep me in prayer. Keep lifting me up. We're going to make an impact in this world because that's what we're called to do. Good night.